Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, and today we are going to be working on the 7th episode of Elementals Reborn. It's probably going to be a two-parter because, honestly, there's going to be a lot of shading and texturing, and then there's building the background and all that stuff. But, anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Now, I'm doing this with a different encoder. You probably... depending on if you watch Game Crafters or not, probably don't know about that just yet, so I'll just say it this time around. I don't think it matters for this, because if I go into my task managers and look at the GPU usage, Photoshop is nowhere around there. Nothing in Photoshop. Photoshop doesn't even show up on it. You can't see it. It's only showing up in the memory, which is fine, because that's the one that really matters the most right now. So I don't think it's going to matter too much with Photoshop. Photoshop never really had to worry about any massive lag occurring because, again, it doesn't use GPU, it uses memory. So we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. Actually, the only good test that I can perform is to do a recording of PlateUp. And by the time that this comes out, PlateUp will already be out. I think. Should be on a Thursday, right? We'll see. We'll see if this comes out on a Thursday. But it should. It better. I can't make it come out any other day this week. So I gotta just get to getting this done with. And I'll explain to you why. Even though it's going to tick me off. So, the stupid damn job, I was supposed to be scheduled for a line, no weekend, nothing like that, because, that's preferable at this particular junction with all the stuff that I have to do. And then, all of a sudden, it looks like I'm relieving now, and despite the fact that it's only one line running, they're gonna frickin' try to get me to come in for Saturday and Sunday. They have been doing it for all the relievers, and it's stupid. It's a waste of money, and it's a waste of my time. Thankfully, somebody took 4 hours of Saturday. I'm going to have to also... some nonsense occurring early Friday, but I'm not going to come in and deal with that. I'll just do that as a normal day, because I have to get this story for this thing written up, and I have an idea on what I want to do here. Simply put, this is introducing the Cult of Darkness. The ones that worship the god of darkness named Archasius. And of course, this is just the start. There's only just a little bit of these guys here showing their strength. As you can see, the group here is meet their match. They've done well beating up most of others. Dragon, Gwyneth struggled with towards the end, but managed to do some dabblage until Ariella came into play. Then there was the fungal golem, that of which both Gwyneth and Ariella was able to at least stall until Ganthru came in to beat the shit out of the golem. And episode 3 had to deal with finishing off the golem and then dealing with the bandit guys. And episode 4 came in, and all of them are now fighting a dragon. Episode 5, the only really fighting there were involved there was these magma mutt creatures, whatever they were called. It's been a while, so I don't recall. And Grandma Tora came into the scene to help beat the wolves down instantaneously. And in episode 6, they managed to take down a poisonous creature. And while Gwyneth did get poisoned, she did get a glimpse into a clue. And as soon as, Ariella removed all the poison. And more so just 5 minutes, but I wanted to do it a 5 hour... What was it, 5 hours? This young man did CPR for 5 hours straight. It's basically a joke going off of the SpongeBob joke, but taken more in a, different manner as opposed to just being played up for, hilarity. So, it is kind of weird as well. It depends, because when you think about CPR, you think about chest pumps and then, breathing air into the person's lungs. And SpongeBob did that for 5 freaking hours to flats, which really makes you wonder. There's also pretty funny little, not a YouTube poop because it doesn't exist, but this one idea that I had in mind, where it's like, how did it go again? Wow, that's gay. I'll have to remember that when I'm fucking your butt. Those flowers for me. It's like he acknowledges it. He acknowledges that it's gay, and he's like, "All right, I'm down. I'll have to remember that while I'm plowing you from behind." I don't know why. It's just funny to me. But yeah, that basically was that joke for that one particular little scene. Regardless, back to what I was talking about before. They took down a few creatures, basically. Now they're up against something that they're not going to be able to take down as easily. A dark mage. I mean, in the story, they took this guy down pretty easily, but bring in her, and which there's a drawing, but I'm not going to bring it up because I gotta get this done with quickly and efficiently, of course. But I've drawn her once before, albeit slightly different, perspective, and you really didn't see much of her. But yeah, she's a psychopath sadist. Right now, however, she looks serious because this guy is rushing her to forget them and, bring this here little thing back with them. Because they were trying to steal the stone from this priestess. This poor girl who got her bell rang. And he was tasked to do it, but he failed. So yeah, we got it's not like Nova. I mean, I guess technically speaking, if you want to go by like if an episode of Nova Guardians is an hour long, that would be about like episode 7 is when the legendary 3s, at least it's hard to say. Nova Guardians' main villains isn't exactly a main villain, but more so just the corporation, or at least the corrupt side. Elementals Reborn's main baddie consists of one organization, and I guess there's also the bandits, but the bandits are not like the main major threat. They're more like a side story threat that I will touch up on again at some point. And I do want to draw their leader, because if I remember correctly, he looked pretty cool in my head. Tall, dark, and handsome, with a nice pair of sunglasses on him, I think. Basically just the leader of the bandits. Someone who don't like the rich or the royals. And is more than willing to get his hands dirty in order to send a message to those who have fortune and are immoral or something along the lines of that. It's a pretty simplistic concept, but we're not really mainly touching on that as much as we would be on, say, the dark or the cult of darkness. Right, Cat? So yes, this is their first time coming up against the cult of darkness, the cultists. One of the main major threats of this entire universe. If you don't count some creatures, because there probably are a bunch of creatures out there who are like a major threat. I'd say the main threat in the first episode arc, or the first arc I should say, yeah, the first arc, was the dragon for the most part. The dragon was the main threat because first episode came in, started wreaking havoc, retreated, then came back after some time. But now the dragon is dead. So that villain is gone for good. Alongside introducing a golem, which is also good because having, the introductions to the more special animal types. Because that is an animal, believe it or not, the golems. But it's not in the same vein as, say, the wyverns or the leviathans. It's more so just like inanimate objects forming together by mana and turning into living beings. beings. They're not sentient, and they're more animalistic, and they do follow an animalistic pattern, some even having nests created like most animals do. But they don't reproduce like most animals do. Although, honestly, I'm not sure what kind of reproduction most of the animal types would give. I mean, wyverns make sense for them to lay eggs, right? Like, reptile, birds. That's what wyverns are essentially combinations of, is just reptiles and birds. I would imagine that leviathans are also in the same boat, right? It's hard to say, because leviathans are basically just giant sea creatures. But more than just giant sea creatures. It's like the species themselves are naturally ginormous. And some of them take on human-like appearances, which you will see at some point during this particular bout of episodes. I'd say right now this is the second part of Season 1. If we want to separate everything via parts, like how Attack on Titan is doing it for frickin' the last season, we didn't just get 2 months ago we got done with the first part of the first season, which was basically just introducing the characters. I wouldn't really say it's the arc, but I guess technically speaking, the first part is the first arc, where we get to see this group together, form together, see them on their first mission, and now this arc, they got a new goal. Granted, I don't think the end of this arc is going to be, consistent. I mean, it might be. It might be like, okay, now that this particular group is now majorly a threat, because these guys are going to be the main threats. I'm pretty sure it's simplistic, plot recognition that these guys are the most threatening thing here. I mean, it makes sense. But I'm not going to say any further into that. Just know that these guys are going to be the main antagonists. They're not going to always be there, but they're going to be there. So look out for them. And their schemes, that's the word. But as I have been doing it, we're essentially going through this 4 parts. Each part is 6 episodes, and then I have a 2-month hiatus. So every month an episode comes out. Then after the 6 episodes are finished in the part, it's a 2-month hiatus. Makes it easier for me to be able to get more fantasy-based stuff, because I already got 2 fantasy drawings finished for the fantasy folder. One being, Gwyneth and Friends I'm using as a reference whenever I draw them now. I'm doing the same thing for Nova Guardians sometime next week, which I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to do because stupid Saturdays and Sundays, unless somebody on CNA ship take all of it. I'm not going to have the time, which sucks. I hate it. It's stupid. It is how you say the stupid. The more time I can get to work on stuff, the better. And they're trying to take away that time, and I don't like that. I really wish overtime just didn't exist, period. Even though that might screw over some people who need the overtime, I just don't want to have to deal with overtime, period, right? My time is valuable. Yeah, sure, I might need money, but I don't need money badly enough to basically just throw away all my free time. No, I feel like there's got to be some common ground in that department. And some people are there who are just working consistent 12s. I wouldn't be able to mentally handle that. I probably might break my back trying to freaking keep up with everything. I would have to sacrifice several hours of sleep just to be able to get things done with. Which is not cool. Sleep is important, and I can barely get any. But for the sake of my creations, and the sake of hopefully being able to get out of this job, I would be willing to sacrifice several hours of sleep just so that I can continue creating. And honestly, why shouldn't I? I'm showing initiative, I'm creating these stories here, I'm doing something. And I don't even really have to worry about a budget that much. I just gotta rely on my own skills of drawing and create what I can create. Okay, I'm gonna get these 4 done with, and I'm gonna get the rest. But yes, I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna be able to get most of that done with. But as I was saying before I went on to this tangent, I have 2 more free spaces left for fantasy, which is going to consist of and Gwyneth is pretty beat up here. We're gonna have like bruises and some scuffs and whatnot soon, but for now we're just shading and texturing. But yes, I got the 5 after this one, of course, episodes of Elementals Reborn remaining, and then 2 mature scenes from this particular series, all happening in the same episode, episode 12, which I think a lot of people will like. Some people will like another one of them, but you'll see what I mean. Well, you won't see what I mean. Well, you might see what I mean. You might see what I mean if I explain it in the 12th episode. Let's just say it's something that most of you aren't going to expect from me. Well, at least not until the particular drawing I have in mind towards the end of July comes out. Then you're like, okay, I can see that now. I mean, you guys on YouTube don't really have to worry about those particular drawings coming out on here because safe for work. So, to you, it's just, it's something if I want to go out in my way to look at it, then I'll do it. But yeah, it's something that you're not going to expect. But one of them you are going to expect because it's pretty expectable. No, I'm not making much sense, but it's fine. I'm tired. I'm tired despite the fact that I only worked 4 hours a day because I just couldn't wake the hell up, so I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to come in at 6 instead. Which is good because I was able to get the coloring done with technically the day, which is Tuesday. So that's good. More of that I can get done with, the better. If I hadn't done that, I probably would just be coloring, and then I'd be shading and texturing. I probably wouldn't have been shading and texturing until Wednesday. So I'd say it was well worth it. And what I was dealing with today, there was like a consistent smoke smell coming from, apparently Canada's burning. Apparently it's been burning for 2 weeks now from what I was told. Jesus. I guess Norm did it. Norm did it. He was off to destroy Canada, and he did it. Or at least he's in the process of doing it. I don't know how the smoke all of a sudden just decided to move its ass down here if it has been burning for 2 weeks, but I don't know. Maybe the news the person who told me got just didn't see it. And also, Internet Today boys are on vacation. It is. I can't wait to see the next episode. I think. Hold on. I think it was a week, right? I don't think they're back just yet. Let me go and see what their nope, nothing new yet. It was 10 days ago. And Canada's been on fire ever since they took their break. So I'm kind of expecting to see them half joking about the fact that they took a break and oh look at that, Canada's forests are now on fire. Something incredibly newsworthy occurred while we're on break, and now, 10 days have passed. I'm pretty sure the next episode might come out today, ? I have no clue. But I'll just wait. I'm not really, I don't watch news for, the news. I watch entertainment in it. It is pretty funny that the only kind of news channel I'm watching is Internet Today, but, like I said, I really don't care much else about what the hell's going on out there in the world. Yeah, I probably should, but honestly, I'd rather just stay in my own fantasy world. I.e. this, or the others that I created. It's a hell of a lot more fun and a hell of a lot less doom spreading. Like, the whole doom scrolling thing, I haven't done any of that. But instead I half-heartedly joke about some of it, like, oh, if I can get to this as long as the world doesn't end. But it hasn't really hit me yet, because I don't look into it. I ignore it. And I just keep going about my day, creating. Hoping that one day, if we all do die out, my soul can move over to my own creations. And like I've said a million times before, I would like to go to Fade's universe, where I can meet Luna and I can create to my heart's content. Right. Ah, man, it would be so cool. Plus, I'd like to see what their place would look like with the blue sun. Oh yes, the blue sun. How did Luna make it work? I don't know, she made it work. She made the sun blue. Or maybe the sun is yellow, but the color was changed to blue via atomic manipulation. So, or yellow. Isn't our sun white? It's a strange question to ask if English isn't your first language. Isn't sun white? Or isn't the sun white? I mean, I guess that would also kind of count. Yeah, that is a very strange question for those that don't know stuff about English, because you take the sun, and you take the sun, and you think, you're taking the sun, but no, you're taking the son, or in this case, the daughter, but I'm not picking the cat up because she's comfortable. But you get what I mean. You can either think that Mung Dal is out there trying to take the sun, trying to one-up Gru, or he's trying to take somebody's son. Or Mung Dal's an abductor. Which I guess would make sense with the fact that we haven't seen Chowder's parents, so... And he lives with Mung Dal, so... I don't remember. It's been literally probably decades, or at least a decade and a half since I've seen that show. So I don't remember if there was any dark hidden secrets of Chowder's parents. Or somehow Truffle be cheating on Mung Dal, and, well, you gotta be very confused to see a cat bunny thing instead of a mushroom cat bunny thing. Because now you're thinking, did you cheat on yourself when you gave birth to this cat bunny thing? Nah, I don't. I don't think that's the case, but it's pretty funny to think. Alright. But yeah, like, Doom and stuff. Don't care. I'm just living in my fantasy world and hoping that the world lives long enough for me to create as much as I can. Honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to be satisfied with all my creations. I'll just keep making more. Because I already got another, little arc planned after this 12-episode drawing series is finished. Which is 6. And I technically might have another one. Or at least 3, as far as I can come up with. I have so many creations that it's... Either I'm going to die before the creations all get fully made, or the world's going to die before my creations all get fully made, and that doesn't really make much sense, because... You know what I mean, right? So, in all actuality, it don't matter if I'm immortal in terms of being put into an android body. Chances are, the world will probably end before I am fully satisfied with all my creations, and I decide, you know what, time to retire. But I don't think I would ever decide to retire. My frickin' hands get cramped up, old style, with arthritis and all that shit. I'll be like, alright, I'm gonna go on ahead and get technology that allows me to move my hands with a robot hand or some shit, and I'll continue to create. Or I'll just power through the pain. I mean, it's not the first power through of pain that I've done. Yep. I'll keep creating until I kaputs or the world kaputs, and even if I somehow get an android body, it's just never going to be the end of the creation train. Which is good. Honestly, I'm surprised that I'm still trucking along without running out of ideas. I'd say that these series have kind of just opened up a whole new can of worms, but it also means that now there's a whole bunch of other things that I could have made, but now it's got to be on the back burners because of the fact that I got this to work on now and all the other series. Technically, yes, I got a whole lot of series happening. Some that aren't even in comic form. With the... like this. Not an actual comic. It's a novel. It's like a book cover. But you know what I mean. But, yeah, it's... I can go through all of them. In the fan art department, I have like 3. One that I'm doing 3 episodes of, another one that's 3 episodes, and the other one that's 2, which means I'm only left with 2 standalones. Did I get the standalone for this one done with? I can't recall. Oh yeah, I did. It was Noelle. Goth Noelle again. But this time with Nero being adorable and Mimosa being nervous and like, I don't know, something. Something about goth setups. But yeah, that's the one we got. Another one that's going to be coming out in July. The one that I said that most people will probably be surprised to see. But it's fine. And aside from that, that's pretty much it. I mean, I could do another one from Tales of Berseria. Technically, I already got the thumbnail done. You want to see that one real quick, assuming I can get to it quickly? Oops. I mean, I might as well. The drawing itself is already finished. There it is. What do you think? Honestly, I like it. I like seeing all of them. It's going to be confusing in like the first episodes because you're going to be like, why are we fighting this person? Aren't we supposed to play as her? But no, you fight her a couple of times, or a few times. I think it's only a couple of times if I remember correctly. Then she joins you after the second time you've beaten her ass. Poor girl didn't stand a chance because I annihilated her ass on the first bout, and it was a 1v1 and I still annihilated her. And then Magalu joined along, and, well, that's before. Regardless, it doesn't matter. The thumbnail is made. Some people will probably be confused, but it's fine. You see the ROTC cat just like being cute and adorable. Bienfu being frightened that he's going to be replaced, which honestly, would you rather have the annoying Bienfu or the ROTC cat looking adorable and being a menace at the same time? Technically, yes, you've seen one of the ROTC cats going berserk in Minecraft, literally building a town. Built a manor for itself. Building a town. That cat is going sicko mode. Wait a minute, did I get that in? I did not get that color in. Great. Well, I guess that's a good question. Underwear. I guess, yeah, it's fine. Gwyneth is 20 years old, so... And it's not an Amy Rose situation. Where for some... did you hear that they're actually trying to retcon the age... The Sonic character ages now all of a sudden? Or at least from what I've read. Honestly, I'd say kudos to them. Because none of the characters act their freaking age. Only in the Sonic movies did they act their age. But I think that's technically supposed to be like, what? A prequel to before Sonic and Eggman started doing stuff? No clue. There's so many Sonic iterations, it's like he's entering the multiverse with Marvel and all that stuff. Well, either way, yes, it is a thing that they are doing for some reason. Which I don't know what that's going to mean exactly, because now that you're trying to retcon the characters' ages, it probably means that several of the characters... I mean, it doesn't really matter because people have still made so much art of those characters. Rouge and Wave, as well as Topaz, and probably a few comic and book ones that I don't know because I don't read those, are okay because they're 18 or older. I don't know exactly how old Topaz is, but she's definitely older than 18. It's a shame that they didn't get Topaz and Rouge together because, that would have been a good couple. Furries and humans be damned. Well, anthropomorphic, I guess, technically speaking, since, you know... Can you even really call Rouge, for those that freaking don't know much about furries, could you even call Rouge a furry? Because she's like 95% skin, and the only hair on her body is the hair on her head, or whatever's down there in the nether regions, if you really want to think about that. Because the only thing we've ever really seen, like in Heroes, I think it was Heroes, where her midriff was showing, and there was no hair there. Nope, she's literally like 95%, well, 95, 80%, or 90%, I guess it's fine, because she's, well, how much percentage is the head? Because if that's the case, then that's 30, and that's 5% of the head with the ears, and then there's the tail and wings. And this is assuming that all of the Sonic characters' fingers match, and that fingers and toes match, because then that would make it like, you know, humanoid figures and whatnot. Or if you want to go for the whole paw instance. And again, wasn't there just one thing in the Sonic comics? Was this during the Penders era? I was waiting for like thunder lightning strikes, but no thunder lightning strikes. Also, let me just nip this in the butt before I forget, because I'm pretty sure that's sticking out. I can't see it because I didn't bring the thing up, but it's fine. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if it was in that era, but it probably is the case. For something like Sonic, Tails, even Amy, those would look strange with that, you would think. But Rouge, she's already like 85% human, so it isn't really too far-fetched that she would also have human feet. In all honesty, if you were to, I don't know, would that make a difference? If you were to shave most of her fur off around her face and have it in a pattern of like a hairstyle, she would look like just a human with bat ears, wings, and a tail. But she'd be a midget. Because obviously the Sonic characters are literally the size of, actually they're probably even bigger than Bridget. Are they like over 3 foot? Poor Bridget. You thought poor Moon with her being like 4'7", but no, Bridget over here with her, if you don't know who that's talking about, it's a character that I have made. But Bridget with her 3 foot tall and like 36 years old and no longer like growing anymore. Reached her like last growth spurt as soon as she reached the age of like 12 or something. Well, last height growth spurt. Obviously, she did develop a big chest and an ass in her adult years. If you've seen the middle school days drawing, you see she looks like a twig. Now, if you look at her in the more present day, which I think there's only like, 4 drawings of her in the present day? You see that she has a considerable figure, but it's still the height of a little chinchilla. That doesn't make any sense because they're smaller than that, but yes, compared to Violet, she is definitely very, very small. But small is also adorable. And it's also strange to think of somebody like her going through her particular kink. Because you think, oh, surely somebody from that, surely somebody of that height is pretty fragile. But no, she's actually quite durable. And actually enjoys she's trying to hide it, obviously, because she works for the church. If you've read the story, because it's all done now. The Forgotten Fling from the past, all of the 6 episodes are done there. So if you've read that, that's not the right lawyer. If you read that, you know that she's working for the church with a lady named Sammy. And both of them have like hidden pasts, but we don't know much about Sammy yet. We just know that she likes Bridget. But, yeah, she has a hidden past that she cannot, indulge upon because she works for the church. And the church is adamantly against sex. Why? I don't know why. I don't understand why there are some people who are so adamantly against sexual stuff. As soon as you tell them about it, they clutch their ginormous Flintstone necklace pearl necklace. And if you go anywhere too close to the point of no return, they break their necklace, faint out of, I don't know, stupidity, because that's the only other word I can think of for those who are so adamantly against that kind of stuff. And then there's the church police coming to arrest you because you broke a pearl clutcher's necklace by going too deep into the forbidden zone or something. And this is why there needs to... I'm not going to say that. Although I guess technically it shouldn't even be a freaking issue in the first place. You know my stance when it comes to religion. You want to follow it? That's fine. Don't shove it down people's throats. You want to say the good word? Say it. If they don't want it, be on your way. People don't have the same interest as you do. People don't really want to follow the same things as you want to follow. If they're in the same boat as you but don't want to go anywhere farther than just saying, yeah, God exists, he's cool, I'll just live my life like he wants me to live it, then don't try to convert them into your particular extreme views of being a Christian or whatever other kind of religion there is. Because I don't really know anything else outside of that one. Technically, I only know of that because my grandmother from my mother's side, rest in peace, was religious. Although, then again, I barely remembered much about that. All I remember was in church being bored, not really liking it as a kid. Nowadays, I just don't really care for it that much. I don't care if people care for it. They like it, fine, let them do it. But I don't really like the idea of having to be forced to get a religion, or some kind of religion. I don't like the idea of people trying to force other people, the people trying to force their, ideology on somebody who really just couldn't care less about all that stuff. Because like I said, I live in a fantasy world. I create fantasy worlds, or sci-fi, or mockumentary horror. I live without any limits, and I'm happy that way. I'm happy creating, I'm happy doing my own thing. It is what it is. So you can imagine somebody who doesn't really want to, hear about that kind of stuff and be like, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you don't stop drawing porn of two women doing things. And not even fine to do it with straight people because it's immoral. Like, bro, I just want to draw what I want to draw, and I like drawing what I want to draw. I don't believe in that. I really don't. And I mean, I cannot exactly believe. It's just, I don't care for it. It might exist, because like I've said with, this theory that I had, whatever we create becomes real in another universe. So technically, with that being said, God does exist, but in a different universe. Hell exists, but in a different universe. I mean, hell, you've seen the demon realm. Demon realm is like hell in general for, demons and humans and animals of all kinds, except you can go there without dying if the portals open up and just, drag you into it. Whether it be through the dark succubus or, just some random rogue portal trying to add you to the Blood Peak shallows and, make the blood ocean kind of just continue to increase in size. Or not continue to increase in size, but, maintain it, because I have to imagine there are some blood creatures that do consume the blood ocean's, blood content. So you gotta make sure you get those blood content up for that. But back to my point, yes, it most likely does exist, but not in our realm, not in our grasp, and certainly not yet. Whether or not there is some beings that have the ability to, what's the word, ferry souls to these dimensions, we don't know. There's a lot of supernatural stuff that we have no idea what it is or what it's all about. For all we know, there is some magic stuff from like the medieval eras of witches and whatnot that a lot of people were trying to like stomp out immediately. But because it was so vehemently like, bastardized, it doesn't exist anymore. Or at the very least, it does. Nobody knows how to gain access to it right now. Those that do remain in secret because, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. If there are people out there who are actually, who actually are witches, and who actually do have access to these powers, there's so many people out there who are just so violent towards those of a different race, different skin color, those who have different sexualities, even in the straight instance, but it's not as violent as the straight edge men who are so hell-bent. What's the word? They're just more straight people who are adamantly against homosexuality and all the other stuff out there. Then there are, gays against the straights. It's basic understanding of, ratios. The ones that are more, violent. I mean, you shouldn't be violent towards another person's sexuality in general, even if they are straight. If somebody is adamantly going at your throat because of your sexuality, then yeah, go at them. But don't go after everybody of the same group. Don't stoop to their level. Why would you stoop to their level? But regardless, it's not as bad as the straights hating the gays for some freaking reason. I just don't get it. So, and my point stands. There are so many people hateful towards so many things that shouldn't even be considered something to hate. If they see somebody out there floating on a freaking, stereotypical, yes, I know, but I have to imagine it does exist, and they might have done that before in the past, but as I've said before, the arts is lost forever. Or at least the arts is kept secret, and those that do know how to do this don't want to show it because, again, look at everybody being hateful towards people for petty reasons. That would be giving people a reason to hate it because most of the people who are like so close to the heart God kind of deal, they see that and think it's the devil's magic. Just there's some people out there who are thinking it's the devil's magic. I don't think the devil even really cares about that. But yes, it existed probably, most likely, but we don't really have any proof. Which sucks. Because, let's be honest here, this was probably during a time where there wasn't too much in the way of historical writing, sure. If there was, they burned the arts, all the books that, tells you how to do these, so that nobody would ever learn this stuff again. Because, I guess, technically speaking, in the olden days, we didn't really have something that we could just save forever on, digital components. Yeah, we do have some historical stuff saved from long ago, but if you're trying to actively destroy history about witches and warlocks and whatnot, people who actually have figured out how to utilize magic, if you're actively trying to destroy that, well, you're not going to have a hard time doing so. Recreating that stuff means you gotta write in a whole nother book. Write all of the things. Even the simplistic ones wouldn't be enough, but they would still burn out anyways because they think anything from the mark of the devil or some shit has to be burned. And then there goes all the books. Trying to keep all the historical events from that age would mean that you would have to hide it in a place that nobody would look for it. And they hid it so well that so far nobody found it, or they couldn't hide anything, and all of the books are gone. It's like the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence or something. There might have been evidence before in the past, but because people are so pussyfoot about so many things that they don't understand back then in the days of yore, it's probably all burnt to a crisp now. Its ashes probably no longer existing in the ether that is our universe. Which sucks if that's the case, but honestly, in this day and age, I don't think it would have I don't think it would do anyone any good bringing it back, because now they're just giving another group of people another reason to hate another group of people, and probably let's just leave it buried for now until we surpass all this needless hate. Needless hate, that's what it is. Why is there so much hatred in these people's hearts? You gotta wonder. Hell, actually, I wonder if the witches performed a curse and future generations, or at least some of the future generations, have now become, needlessly hateful to spread, the hatred. And it's basically just the perfect long con revenge. What the hell? What's the matter, computer? Is our memory overloading? Why is my mouse lagging? 58, 33, 60. I don't know why this is doing the little bit of lag. Everything should be running fine. So yeah, anyways. Witches and warlocks probably did exist, but the magic is no longer there. We've decided to abandon the magic route and go down the science route. Whether or not that was a good thing all really depends. Magic is like supernatural-based kind of stuff, while science is more logical. Of course, nobody's going to know anything about how to do actual magic, or at least those that do know are keeping it all hidden for a good reason. Actually, you know how much people would probably exploit that? Yeah. That probably would be a good reason to keep... Oh, well, it depends. Would magic be worse than guns and nukes? I guess it depends on what kind of spell you could possibly cast. Maybe. It depends, really. First of all, I don't even know what kind of magic we have in our universe. In this universe, I say we can use this as a good example. We got somebody who can literally create a giant field of fire, a giant ray of fire, i.e. Gwyneth. She's done it 4 times in like one day. Right, cat? There's also enveloping your legs in lightning and being able to move as fast as lightning, like what he does. Or somebody like Genther, who's able to create giant rock pillars that surrounds him when he plunges his sword inside of the earth below. All in all, these are the kind of magics that I would think is what we would have, but that's probably not the case. If I were to have to take a wild guess as to what the magic was before back in the days, most of it probably would have to have had something in terms of alchemic magic, like alchemy, I guess. I don't know if the concept of alchemy was, back then in the day we had the magic to be able to essentially just convert some materials into its, like, base components. We probably did, in all honesty. If that was one of the magic types that I believe we had back then in the era of yore, then, yeah, that would make the most sense. Deconstruction... Why the... I know it's not the mouse, it's the freaking computer. And we still got the fire weather watch. Yeah, no kidding. Air quality alert. Yeah, no kidding. There's a freaking haze of smoke going all over of New Jersey, New York, and probably even worse up north where there's Rhode Island and whatever else is up there. I think Maine is up there as well. Apparently hit Delaware too. Wait. No, fool. I'm like, God dang it, but no, that's the wrong direction, obviously. This is behind the pants. Now, did we have elemental type magic? That's a good question. I don't know much about what the witches were, like, prosecuted for. It's hard to say. There would be bewitchment. Being able to essentially just, you know, manipulate somebody's, manipulate them to do their bidding and whatnot. Yeah, there is that. Thing is, they were able to do that. Wouldn't you think they would use that as a means to be able to, like, mass manipulate everybody into not burning them or drowning them? Or are there those who are, like, so stubborn in their ways that they were immune to any bewitchment? I mean, yeah, if you got somebody who's so faithful towards God, they're probably able to resist most of the bewitchments and whatnot. The charming and something or another. Interesting to think, in all honesty. They couldn't take down most of the witches without somebody who was able to resist their charms, their spells. So yeah, I'd have to imagine that that's the case, right? Reason why they weren't able to, like, completely manipulate everybody is because somebody was there to try to, like, stop the process. Yeah, actually, okay, so I think it's like old videos by then, or maybe it was recent, but there is apparently some people in what I think is India, where there's, like, some church guy or whatever guy who was, like, trying to be like, I don't know, a cure-all kind of person. I can't recall. It's like, you know, these people go there, he, like, waves his hand at them, and now they're just on the floor spazzing out, doing the freaking worm. No joke, there is actually some of them doing the worm, I think. And it's like he's trying to expel the demons out of people? Well, like, I don't know how... It's gotta be like a similar instance to Dimples from Mob 100. Where it's basically just this guy using... Maybe he's an Esper. Probably. Maybe he's not using witchcraft. Maybe he's an Esper. Makes me wonder if Espers are actually a thing back then. Apparently there used to be some exorcism-based stuff, even like permission from like a judge and a doctor if the person is more than just mentally unfit. It's actually like the work of the devil or some shish. And they were able to do exorcisms. At least from what I've heard. Which is strange to think about. But, you know, there have been stranger things before in the past, and it's not too out of left field. What the hell is wrong with this computer? The only apps that are open is OBS and Photoshop. Why the hell is the mouse lagging a little? What is with this computer? Man, I'm so tired. I'm gonna get another drink of Mepsis. It also doesn't help that the smoke-filled air was slightly burning my eyes, or was. I'm in an area where there's barely any airspace outside of that vent behind me. I might have a window back there, but it's not one that can open, unfortunately. Which is fine, because I don't need to worry about you trying to get out. I don't know if you heard a little quail-like noise, but she made a noise. Right, cat? No mouse? Nope, nothing. You're trying to look at me. Oh. But yeah, it's good now, but my eyes just, whether or not it's because I'm very tired, or the smoke, or both, yeah, I don't know. Well, it was strange, because seeing the haze while I was driving to work at close to 6, but not exactly 6, like 20 minutes before 6, it was definitely interesting, because it looks foggy. I didn't really smell any smoke when I first walked outside. It didn't really hit me. And then when I walked inside work, it was smoke. There was smoke. A lot of smoke. But it was dispersed smoke. So the distance just looked like it was way more darker. Or darker, not darker. But way more foggier than you would think a smoke-filled area would be. But I guess technically speaking, it's smoke. It's a gas. Of course it's, going to be dispersed and make it look like it's misty and hazy and whatnot. Then again, I've never dealt with that before. I live on the East Coast. There is some forests here, but these kinds of forests, they aren't exactly camp forests. Nobody can really go in the woods and camp in there. So we never really have to worry about that around here, at least. Well, there is Lake George, but I have yet to see anything about a fire being started there yet. But then again, I don't actively look for it, so of course I'm not going to find anything about it. Well, regardless, it was smoky. So I guess you're just going to have to wait and see what people say about that, I guess. And isn't, Canada mostly just forests? A forest fire happening in Canada would probably just mean the entire death of the forest. Because there's just a lot of trees. And the fire would just constantly keep spreading and spreading until eventually the entirety of Canada becomes red. And then that would just basically be it for the forest. A lot of dead trees, fallen trees, Asheville. It might regrow. It might regrow from the ashes. Or it'll burn everything and there'll be no trees left. Not even enough for seeds to try to repopulate the entire area. Well, as morbid as this might sound... oh wait, this robe is in the wrong area. But I don't think I did this robe here, did I? Or hood. fine. I'll just do this now. At least those who are lost in the forest of Canada, assuming they're still alive, will now at the very least be able to easily find their way out and be safe. Morbid as that is, assuming they don't get caught up in the fire. But I would imagine, like, once you see there's a fire there, you gotta imagine fire, which means that there's probably a whole bunch of officials and Canadian firefighters out there to try to rescue my ass. So you're gonna try to, like, walk around the forest fire, try to find any signs of people, and then you'll be saved. You're like, I've been lost in this forest for several years. And then they're like, what the hell? The forest fire allowed me to find people. It's morbid, yes, but I'm saved. And then they take him out of there in safety and he gets back to his family again. Civilization back at it once more. Or they got caught in a fire and died. We really want to get morbid, and he got caught in a fire and died. But let's just try to have this be a happy ending for the lost survivors of the forest. So yeah, I mean, there's a silver lining amongst the several dozen red threads lying around here. If you look at this ginormous red cloth, you will see one tiny silver lining. Yeah, it's not much, but some good news amongst the bad news that occurs. Although there's also probably going to be some bad news amongst the good news, like lost person's corpse found in the forest fire. Well, we can't always have silver linings, especially nowadays where life is actively trying to ruin people's lives. And who knows why? Life shouldn't have a reason to actively ruin everyone's lives. It shouldn't. What did we ever do to life? Well, we say that and we've done a lot of things to life, so maybe life has a reason. But I say fuck life because it shouldn't have a reason. I'd say fuck life. What did I ever do to you, life? I'm trying to be happy, but you just keep trying to make me be miserable. What about all the other innocent people that get screwed over because of the dumbasses who are out there causing fires in every part of the world? Why do you have to be like, alright, I'm going to teach you dumbasses a lesson. All of you get taught a lesson. Because this one person fucked up, you're all going to get taught a lesson. Because I'm a tyrannical deity or teacher, depending on who I'm reminding you of while I say this, who actively just hate the people that I'm supposed to be looking over and want to make their lives miserable in every way possible, even if I know who did it. I know somebody did this wrong. I know somebody abused this system, and not everybody pays for it. Not me, though. Rules for thee, not for me. Well, fuck you, too. There are several people out there who are like that. It shouldn't be a do as I say, not as I do, or something, or whatever the hell it is. But it is, apparently. That's a common thing we all go down. Do as I say, not as I do. Yep. I can't figure out anything else to talk about. Cat's in loaf mode. You in loaf mode or is that baguette mode? Smack the baguette. Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be strange this Friday. We're recording the season finale of Minecraft ROTC Edition and Terraria Nukem Edition. Man, strange to think. We've been at this for like, what, 6 months now? The current seasons? For Terraria, it's more like strange. For Minecraft, it's like another well, technically, yeah, we did end Minecraft Season 4 and went to do Sonic Frontiers. And then during that point, I decided to also do Terraria. Because why not? I just killed some flying insect, but I eviscerated its corpse that had turned into dust. It was like this small. I think it was an insect at least. Didn't really look like it, but again, it's very small, so doesn't make any sense for it to be any like flower. Anyways, yeah, I can't believe we're getting close to the end of the. Actually, we're like literally just one episode away. For Minecraft, we're one episode away. There's still the next episode of Terraria Nukem Edition coming out tomorrow, or tonight, technically speaking, because by the time this is posted and the story is written, it's only going to be like what, less than 8 hours until it comes out. Just about. A little over 8 hours, depending on how long it takes for me to get the thing done with. And how long you're probably not going to stick around and watch this for that long. So yeah, by the time this is out, those who do watch this are probably going to already see Terraria Nukem Edition. And that's the second to last episode before the season ends. Oh, wait, you're supposed to be beneath that. Man, it's strange how close we are to finishing off the season. It's a shame that we're not going to go into hard mode next season, but that's fine. I want to prepare and I want to build as much as I can before I make the world more difficult to survive in. Because you know how much that's going to suck. And you know exactly what I plan on doing. Once I'm like done with building the stuff that I gotta build, and I decide to move on over into hard mode. Once I've done that, the next season and the first episode is just going to be us fishing for like several hours. It might actually be a 3-hour long episode special, where all we do is just fish in the safety of our home, buy a shotgun so we have some form of attack damage. Hope the goblins that show up won't be an issue. I feel like the only goblin that's probably going to be the issue is the one that's popping around and summoning stuff. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? I would say if I wanted to deal with those goblin bitches, I'm probably going to have to, like, teleport to the underworld because the Tesla's not going to work. And then go into the underground town and just start fishing from there. That's assuming my balls of steel isn't able to kill those bitches as easily as I'd like. But that's fine, because I'll have my balls of steel to kill off the rest of the goblins. Plus, I already got all of their... well, not all of them fully set up, but I got pretty much almost all of their banners set up around the arena. So honestly, at that point, it's just... focus all my shotgun attacks on the summoner, dodge as much as I can, try to kill that goblin as much as I can to get her banner, and then any more future raids from these stupid goblins, oh boy, those banners are going to just sit there, remind them of their dead friend, they're going to be off their game, and the next thing you know, boom, Duke's balls of steel is in their face, piercing them with its spiky exterior something. And then they all die. We gotta do the same with the pirates, but my god, is that gonna suck. I've been watching Captain Sparkle's Terraria Let's Play throughout the course of, as long as it's been out, and the pirate rage just sent rage down my spine, because I tried doing it in mastered mode once, never again. I did beat them, but my god, did it suck. I would say my best bet when it comes to dealing with those stupid pirates is to potion up as much as I can. Eat up as much as I can. Like, max out in terms of food. I am probably definitely going to upgrade the arena to have, like, heart statues with switches around the place. So I'll probably have to go on a cave hunting spree for more of those heart statues. The more of those I can get, the more, health drops I can give myself. And if I have Smart Cursor on, all I gotta do is just right-click and boom. We got ourselves some health. Provided I'm quick enough to act on it fast. I feel like that's going to be the best way for me to take down most of the bosses, is to use the health drop thingy as much as I can to give myself as much health as I need. Because I couldn't kill a single boss in hard mode and master mode. Those guys were a pain in a million asses. I don't know what it's going to be like in expert mode. Probably less frustrating because, one, it's less health, but it's still the same amount of damage except... Wait, is it the same amount of damage? I can't recall. I think they do more damage in Master Mode, so never mind. It's just, the increase in health and attack damage. Nothing new. Which is just not fun. Like, it was fun in the beginning. Like, Skeletron was a bit of a pain in the ass, but after, like, a few attempts and, like, experimentations, I did it. I don't think I'll be able to do that with the hard mode bosses in master mode. Not unless, I keep at it and keep improving my dodging skills. Or go for some kind of equipment that allows me to essentially just easily kill the boss without having to really do much. Easier said than done. Okay, yeah, no, that's not it. This might be it, but I'm uncertain. Did I just click the same one? I did. Go to here yet. Alright, that one's fine. But yes, it was not fun. I feel like I'll have a better chance with this one. So long as I don't break a single altar, and I just focus on getting titanium, maybe? Titanium or adamantine, depends, really. I don't exactly know the difference. I don't think it matters that much. I don't know if adamantine would be better for gunner than titanium, or if titanium's better. If adamantine is better for gunners, then that's pretty easy, because any bit of titanium I get from fishing will then be converted into adamantine via shimmer, which we will hopefully have a completely safe area to where we do not have to worry about any mobs spawning in there via what we've done with the underground town. So yeah, we'll see what occurs there. We'll see. But as it stands right now, I have time to prepare. Season 2 is going to be just, 6 months of building out the entirety of the world. Getting the surface built out fully, segmented off so that if we get like a crap ton of crimson in an area we don't want, I can easily get rid of it. Then there is the elevators that also separates the cave layers. So I can have the Crimson, the Hollow, and even the Corruption, assuming I can get that with ease, all in one spot. Nowhere else but where it's at. And that's essentially the plan. So once I've done all of that, I build out the towns a little bit more. I build the Aether area. I do a bunch of things. Get that Silk Farm built. Maybe even build like a nice little... Maybe like fill the entirety of the underworld up with like lava. No floor. I just get my shark mount and I literally just ride across the lava oceans of the underworld while I fight the Wall of Flesh multiple times so I can get the Clockwork Rifle to expand upon Duke's arsenal weaponry. Because my idea for going in the hard mode in terms of the weaponry is to first of all get the shotgun immediately. Then work towards getting the Onyx Blaster, which requires me to go to a Crimson Desert and kill a bunch of mummies until I get the Dark Shards that I need. Then I need to go into the Crimson Undergrounds, which I'm probably going to preemptively make with a bunch of, if I go into a Blood Moon and go to the Dryad during the Blood Moon, I can easily just buy a whole bunch of the Vicious Powder and boom, instantaneous Crimson. So I can automatically get an entire section of the Underground in Crimson that I will have fully explored already, so I know where everything is. I don't need to worry about exploring that area. And then I can go on ahead, kill a bunch of underground Crimson mobs, try to get E-Core as best as I can, which is going to be a pain in the ass, because those guys did a lot of freaking damage in hard Master Mode. So I imagine they're still going to do a lot of freaking damage in Expert Mode. But I'll have to come in with Endurance Potions and Iron Skin Potions and Regen and whatnot. Although I'll probably just farm up a whole bunch of crates to get my hands on Titanium. Like I said, that's probably the best way for me to go about doing that without having to invoke the wrath of the mechanical bosses or the pirates. Which is fine, we are a master fisherman. Almost able to get to 300 fishing power. Way more than what I did in the Master Mode playthrough, which wasn't really a playthrough, more so just pre-hard mode playthrough, and then once hard mode begins, I just gave up because it was just annoying as all hell. But now Duke will be more ready, and have all the things he'll need. But yeah, as I said, the shotgun we want to get, then there's the Uzi we want to get immediately, which means I gotta also create a jungle arena. Both to get the Planetara Arena set so I don't have to deal with that in hard mode. And a few other things. And of course there's a Clockwork Rifle. And that's pretty much the only weapons I can get before having to take on mechanical bosses. Alright. Alright, now for the Priestess, this poor girl. Whoops. Her face is literally like, this on the thing. Like smushed, kind of. But anyways, yeah. That's our plan for once we get into hard mode. That and also trying to summon the Eater of Worlds, because obviously the only way we can get corruption legitimately without having to enter into a different world is to get the Dryad into the graveyard after hard mode, and then you just purchase a seed from her. Assuming it still has to be... from last I read it, it said it has to be hard mode. But I don't know if that's the case anymore, or if that was the case to begin with. As again, it's been a while since I looked it up. But yeah, that is most likely what we have to do to get the Destroyer of Worlds to spawn. And that's why we have a graveyard. That, and so that we can get our hands on the quad barrel shotgun and Echo Mist crafting. Which, I gotta say, it is making good use right now. The Echo Mist crafting. We're making a very particular item that makes for some pretty cool pillar-looking walls. Yeah. And it weirdly combines with one of the things. I don't know why, but the slab thing combines with the marble. And so far, only the marble. I don't know why yet. I am uncertain. It looks good not combining with some of the stuff, but I am not entirely too sure why it combines with the marble and why it doesn't combine with anything else. The idea with that one particular block is the fact that it does not combine with anything, but it does somehow combine with marble, which I don't know why. Because the regular marble, or the regular stone slabs seem to combine with the marble. So what reason was there to have that combined? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, regardless of that fact, Duke Manor is looking good so far. I don't want to say too much about what we've gotten done with, but now I don't know what mode the cat's in right now. It's in a mode where her legs are like right here, and then there's her back right here. It's like a rocket. She's in rocket form. A rocket kitty. Meow, 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 meow. Got a whisker on your nose. You got a loose whisker on her nose. It's like this small of a whisker, so maybe it's not an actual whisker, but more like the whiskers that you see on the top of the eyes, right, cat? I know you're tired, but if I don't keep you up, then you will attempt to keep me up while I'm trying to go to sleep. Or is that just making that worse? Boop de snoop. Alright, let's see. 2B. Anyways, I'm liking the cast of characters we're getting for this series. We only see the priest, this poor girl, and this poor lady. I guess it doesn't really exactly matter. You see this poor woman on the ground trying to protect this stone. We don't see her like normally. We just see her in pain, which is saddening. But it is what's going on here. Because I wanted to showcase her, but I also wanted to showcase them surrounding this dark mage, despite being beaten, despite getting dablaged. They're still surrounding this dark mage and looking to kick her ass, even though they got their asses kicked. I can't exactly say it's in the same vein as what happened in Nova Guardians, because in the end they did end up managing to kick the ass of Sara, but then Sara started to throw a tantrum when she lost, and then went go full power, and was about to just murk everyone, including her sister. But that didn't happen. Also, are you? Okay, just needed to make sure that was combined. I wasn't sure if I combined that one or not. But yeah. Now, who could I say is more powerful? Well, it depends, really. Sara utilized electricity in her blades to be able to essentially allow for her to control the blades and move them around in sporadic patterns. That's kind of like her one-trick pony, utilizing that. This dark cultist, however, she has a plethora of magical abilities that can very easily just wipe the floor with everybody. I think she uses nature. Because in the drawing of her originally, and we're going at this pretty quickly, so maybe I can quickly bring this up. It was in album 40. This is the drawing she was in originally. Right here. A whole lot of chains in the background, and then this mage ability here. Simply put, I feel like her main ability is going to consist of nature. All nature. Nature earth, nature flora, and nature poison. Earth to be able to form dark or metal chains imbued with darkness. And, yeah. You're probably confused as to how a nature mage is able to utilize life dark magic. Well, there's a very simple process that is involved that we won't. I don't know if we're going to get into talking about it in this episode or not. This episode of the series, not our time. But there is a very particular system that does require somebody who does know how to utilize dark or dark life magic. Yeah, because usually it's like pyro fire, like, you know, pyro with fire, lava, and plasma. So as Gwyneth is a pyro fire user. Then there's like aqua with water, ice, and steam. So Ariella over here is an Aqua water user. Ganthru, again, nature user. Nature earth user. Not nature flora or nature poison. And then there's Damodora, who was the only odd one out here who has Zephyr Electric, as opposed to Zephyr Wind, which is the most common one. I'm not exactly sure why I decided to make it electric, though, because when I first made it, hold on. When I first made all of them, which was essentially to show off. Oh, hold on a second. I got some. It was essentially to show off the accessories that they were wearing. Gwyneth with the ruby necklace. Ariella with the sapphire one. Ganthru with jade, and Damodora with topaz. Essentially, it was basically just going over the 4 main elements: pyro, aqua, nature, and zephyr. Should have been fire, water, earth, and air, but instead I made electric. Kind of like, it is definitely different from most kind of elemental-based series. I mean, somewhat, so to speak. Like I said, most of this series is inspired off of Black Clover, which apparently, in turn, that series is inspired off of Fairy Tail. Which I guess also, in terms, kind of means that this series would technically be inspired off of Fairy Tail. But I made all this before I even knew of its existence outside of, like, the fetish art of most of the ladies. Do this. There we go. Just in case. So yeah, we got like Gwyneth over here having like the same main character, optimistic disposition, or whatever the hell the word is, as Asta, but with the fire power of Magna, which I guess actually in terms now it's, like I said, the more I look into it, even though they both have different hair colors, they share similar hues. Both red, pink hair, both fire users. And the funny part is, I didn't even know of his existence. I didn't even know of his existence. When I first made Gwyneth, the idea was to have this cute-looking face, but like hiding her eyes, obviously, with a nice big wizard hat and nice curly red hair. And that became Gwyneth. So I guess technically speaking, it wasn't. I don't think the characters were really inspired off of any of the main characters just yet. I think they were just basically random design characters that I made at the time to just showcase off these accessories that they were wearing. Damodora is the only one who still has his accessories, but the only change here is there's no like chain here, so it's easier for me to draw these cuffs. But all the others, like, you know, Ariella has like a little, well, you can't see it here, but there's like a small sapphire thing where her cape is. Gwyneth doesn't have one, and Ganthru kind of just lost it, while also getting an entire armor change to make it easier to draw him. But yeah, I don't think they were inspired off of anybody just yet. They were literally just random-ass designs that I pulled out of my ass, and now all of a sudden, this is what we're using. This is the characters that we've got for this particular series here. It could have been anybody, but I decided to draw them instead. And then when I fully drew them with like a design and whatnot, throughout like, the town of creation, that's when I was like, I could turn this into a series. Spire it off of Black Clover a little bit with the magic and whatnot. Yeah, I could do that. And then, thus, Elementals Reborn series was created. That's when the inspiration came into play. And it did not come into play when I created the characters. It only came into play when I started to expound upon them. But it is very strange that I somehow ended up with a red-headed fire user. And while I don't think Gwyneth is anywhere near dragon-wise, yeah, she slayed a dragon, but with a group of her friends. Or colleagues? Yeah, they're more of her friends. And the way Gwyneth's little mind goes, they are definitely more so her friends than workers. I would say Gwyneth is more so like a nine-tailed fox. You know, fire fox, basically. That would basically be what her, like, animalistic side would be. I mean, I guess it makes sense. She's a fox in the way of her beauties, and she's also a fox in the way of her fire spells. Can't wait to expound upon that. Not going to say too much about that, but yes, there's something in the mines working its way up to being used soonish. But not just yet. Not just yet. I will say it sucks that these guys have to be pixelated for now. Because I want to showcase the battle up front instead of these guys, even though they have an importance. Just not yet. Like, he has an importance. He has to get his ass kicked to bring in Big Sis over here. They're not siblings. It's just, you know, that's the kind of thing you would probably expect in this particular instance. And then, of course, there is the big guy who tagged along as soon as he heard what occurred. And got their asses in gear to get a move on, because they got what they came here for. They don't want to waste time taking down the small fry, so they just moved. And that's what they did. But yeah. I don't know if there was any, like... I mean, I saw, like, the Spade Kingdom arc. Yeah, it's dark. But there's no devils here. It's mostly just all off of, like, the gods and whatnot, right? The only, like, major components we have that we know of so far from the creations. I mean, I know more than I'm letting on, but I'm just gonna act like I don't know more than I'm letting on so that you guys are left guessing. But from what I've made so far and what we know, there is, of course, the Eldricks that we don't have here because, as I believe was stated, Hestrena banished them into the depths of what would be considered the void, but is actually technically space. But yeah, it's that is one other threat. But I would say that's a kind of threat that probably wouldn't be prevalent yet. That's more of a, like, endgame kind of threat. And we're nowhere near the endgame. But aside from that, yeah. I would say that we've got ourselves an interesting, maybe not interesting in a sense because it might have been done a few times, but hey, I have not done too much of this particular series outside of Black Clover, and while I'm still going through it right now, I'm currently on, like, what? Episode 62? A Fairy Tale. I only have seen those two animated fantasy series. I guess Sword Art Online technically counts, even though that's more sci-fi, but with the sci-fi bit being goggles that bring you into a fantasy world. Less sci-fi and more reality, because now we're kind of getting to the point where we have the goggles doing something. And maybe we eventually get a Sword Art Online game and minus the, minus all of the sus. So, yeah. More of a... Still fantasy, though. And I think, in all actuality, it's still fantasy. To be quite honest with you, I don't really know if I could ever grab any inspiration from that series. Like, I enjoyed it enough to where I wasn't, like, what most people be saying, this is trash and whatnot. Some people do, a lot of people do say it's trash. But I still enjoyed it. Not my top favorites. I would say my top favorites of the more recent ones that I have watched. Dr. Stone is one. Hunter x Hunter is another. What else was there? There was another one, but I can't remember. Promised Neverland, that's another one. That's like, no. Well, first season. Second season, Made in Abyss, that's the word. First season of Promised Neverland was fine, but the second season, I still enjoyed it. It's the same level as Sword Art Online. I enjoyed it, but then I realized, wait a minute, there's this flashback of everything showing me of what could have been, and I'm like, okay, I can understand why some people don't like it. But no, I meant Made in Abyss. Not Promised Neverland. Take that 4, bring it down to a 3. And then bring it back up, because Black Clover. But yeah, there's a lot more. A lot more that I cannot remember right now. Black Lagoon was 1. I definitely liked Kill la Kill. Akame ga Kill. I was upset with so many of the deaths that occurred in that series. It's inspired me to pull My Luna Academia and just put Luna into, well, more so Luna v both of them, because there's 2 scenarios that both of them have deaths. Is to pull that and just have Luna come in and save their asses, and also collect debt of those who are of age. And I don't think there was any male characters of age that I liked in that one, in terms of, you know, liked as in, not as in like you know, the character's personality and stuff. No, it's more like liked as in most of the girls. It is hard for me to try to explain, but I think you got the gist of what I'm trying to get across, right? Hopefully. But yeah, there's like at least a good handful of them. Luna coming in, kicking ass, taking names, taking footwear, sending out gadgets, you know, the works. Her usual shtick. Her usual perverted shtick. But yeah, aside from that, Iron-Blooded Orphan was also pretty good, but I also didn't like some of the deaths that occurred in there. There were like 2 that were cheap as all hell. The 2 that just pissed me off far beyond reason and makes me want to bring Kainrai Tenego in to turn the Mafia dumbasses' heads into literal fine paste. A nice fine paste. All the demons in the demon realm enjoy this fine paste. We call it a mixture of brain bones paste. Yeah. There's some brain in it, some flesh, some blood, might be bits of tongue. I'd say teeth, but bones and teeth are kind of the same thing. It's just different parts of the bone, maybe, I think. If I remember correctly. Yes. The most perfect blend of brains and spices. I feel like that'd be a perfect line for a comedic zombie movie of some mad scientist in a zombie apocalypse cooking zombies and serving it to, like, a group of psychopaths that can actually consume zombie flesh and not be affected by it. Yep. Hell, it could be a funny quip in Outlast, wouldn't it? But yes, some annoyances there. But that's more so just series that I like, not series that I consider to be the most favorite. Spy X Family's another one. That one's a pretty good one. Funny. Can't wait for season 2. Would I say that Mob Psycho 100 was my favorite? Hard to say. Because I don't know what my top 10 is. So I don't know if it would be in the top 10. I feel like it would be. But I haven't really seen much. In all honesty, there hasn't been a single anime show that I didn't like. I would say the only one I wouldn't really care too much for was Pop Team Epic, but that's like in the style of Robot Chicken, and as I've said before, I'm not really too much of a fan of Robot Chicken. That kind of style of show. I don't know why. I just don't really care for it that much. Can't explain it. Alright, 1B. There has been some funny moments, but it's not all that funny for some reason. I don't know. It's like sometimes some of it felt forced. I'd say the one funny moment in Robot Chicken was, what was it? 2 Kirks, a con, and a pizza place. I don't know why that was funny. Just seeing whoever was, I don't know who was yelling it. Was it a con? Or was it a Kirk? Where I think it was one of the Kirks. I just don't know which one. Where it was like, con. I don't know why that one was funny. There have been some funny moments, but not all of them, which is a shame, really. A real shame. But what can you do? Some people have different tastes. And Pop Team Epic was kind of in the same vein, although most of the jokes I didn't really get. Although there was one reference that I got and was pretty funny with, what was her name again? It's been a while. Gladius? Ugh, Christ, what was his name again? It's been. I want to play this game again at some point, but it's been so long since I've played this. Noctis, I think Noctis and Gladiolus. I have no clue how to pronounce his name, but it looks like Gladiolus. 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 You thought it was Gladius, but it was I, Gladiolus. Yep. Oh yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's another one. You know what sucks about the whole streaming nonsense? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, throughout seasons 1 through 5, was on Toonami for the entirety of its run. And now all of a sudden we can't get season 6 anymore? Annoying. Same thing that applied with Demon Slayer. We thought we were getting season 2, but then they were like, nah, up that price up because we greedy and we want more money. Bro, you're already making so much money off of it, why can't you just throw us TV people a bone? Yeah, sure, I do streaming as well, but there are some things that I want to just watch like once a week or something. Come on, man. It's a shame because I don't know how long Toonami's going to last if they can't get any new shows. I know it's like a thing of the past, but it's more like a novelty, you know? Something to look forward to at the end of every week as opposed to the end of every day. Like what I have been doing with the shows that I have been watching. Which I guess, yeah, we watch a lot that probably not going to be on Toonami anymore for like or at all, or for like a long while. Let me recall. I think I started with we started with Full Metal Alchemist, I believe. Then I think we went to Jujutsu Kaisen. Then we went to Inuyasha. Then we went to Spy X. I'm doing the wrong damn thing again. Oh, you're the same. Right, I forgot. I combined you. Then we went to Spy X Family, I think. Then I think we went to... Was it Mob Psycho 100 or was it Demon Slayer at this point? I think it was Mob Psycho 100 first. Because I only saw the first season of that on Toonami, and after that I didn't show any more of that because he couldn't get the rights to show it. Then I watched Demon Slayer starting from season 1 again because it's been a while. And then we finally got to the Train arc. And then the Red Light District arc, and now I'm waiting for the the entirety of the Swordsman arc to come out. See what that one's going to be like soon. Which I'm not sure exactly what I plan on doing because Fairy Tail has like, what, 300 episodes or so? So, I don't know, maybe if I get to like an end of an arc, if I can figure out where the end of the arc is, like maybe there's a filler or something. And then I'm like, alright, all of the dubs for Demon Slayer came out, so I'm gonna just put Fairy Tail on hold for like a small, like at least a couple of weeks, depending on how long this arc is. If it's anything like the Light District arc, and I guess technically the train arc, that would be like 18 episodes or so, it will probably be a little over 2 weeks. Unless it's 24 episodes. In which case, then that's 3 weeks. Which, yeah, I can go 3 weeks of just watching the Demon Slayer Season 3. Demon Slayer Season 3, not the. There is no singular Demon Slayer. And I can't say at the rate things are going, it might be. No, surprise. Well, spoilers, but the Sound Hashira, can't remember his name, is apparently retiring. Or maybe he's not retiring. Who knows? I don't know. We're going to get to finally see Mitsuari, or whatever her name was pronounced. And I can't wait, because we barely got to see her that much. As well as most of the other Demon Slayers that have been shown. Right now, we only really had one of Shinobu, that one guy that they first came across who, honestly, he hasn't really had too much since he's like a silent guy, antisocial guy. And there was the Flame Hashira. Spoilers, rest in peace. Ugh. Still didn't like that. And here I am thinking, surely there's no way there could be any more deaths after the family, but nope. Nope, there's more. But then outside of that, there was the sound, and that was it so far. So far, that's it. Also, frick. So now we just gotta wait for. Is that not? No, that is it. It's just not deleting it. So now I'm just waiting for it all to come out, the dub. Which is good, because I have something to hold me over until then. Hell, I didn't freaking get to watch Season 2 until like several years later, man. I could wait a little while longer. Besides, I got a Fairy Tail to hold me over anyways, and apparently we're about to enter a new arc. I mean, we got a new OP and ED, so technically speaking, you would think, yes, new arc. But we haven't finished this one off yet. Which is strange because the OP and ED indicates that we are technically still in this one particular scene of the arc, but in a different place. No clue what that's going to be like. Although there's this one character that we haven't met just yet, and I don't know how long it's going to be until we meet them, who I, for the longest time, thought that she was supposed to be that one main character. Spoilers, but I haven't gotten to that part, so maybe not spoilers. There's this one redheaded chick that I have no clue who it is supposed to be, who I thought was Urza Scarlet for the longest time. And I was like, okay, this girl is apparently chalked up to be crazy and psycho. You know, as you know, when they first described her as, you know, this giant monster stomping around and, you know, breathing fire or something in that little image. And I thought, yep, that sounds like that person. Then when I see her, she's more elegant, wholesome, and adorable at occasions. And not anything like who I thought was supposed to be her. And, I guess early mid spoilers, with Mystigan being apparently Jalal, and this Jalal guy just refusing to die apparently. I don't know if there's any parallel nonsense, but it would be the only explanation as this one character that I have seen on DeviantArt. And yeah, or maybe it's just a sister, or who knows. But then again, the Jalal brother thing was actually a hologram. And we don't know who this Mystigan guy is supposed to be just yet, but I think we might find it in the next arc, since it's something to do with Wendy and Mystigan. Or Jalal. What are they thinking? If there is a parallel one, the character that I'm referring to, who I thought was supposed to be like the main character, one of the main characters, because I know red hair and whatnot, and probably doesn't really look too much like her with her expression, but if she mellowed out, she probably would look like her. I think the person I'm referring to, if I remember her name correctly, is Flare Corona, which is, if it is supposed to be like an alternate, parallel version of Urza, I guess it would make sense if Mystigan's name is Mystigan, but maybe it's Jalal, or he changed his name, or maybe he changed his name to Jalal because he doesn't want everybody to hear the word of Mystigan. And be like, well, I know the guy here looks like me, or is the opposite of me, is Jalal, so I'm going to use his name, so the person I'm apparently running away from, which it looks like it from the flashbacks, is probably looking off of the name Mystigan, and, but wait, why the hell would he use it in Fairy? Well, it depends. Maybe he's like, maybe this guild will help just beat the crap out of who's chasing me or something. Or maybe nobody really says his name that much. Or maybe he has to use that name because he doesn't want to trigger Urza. Well, either way, there's a lot of mystery there that we're probably going to figure out soon-ish, maybe. We have to probably be close, right? But then again, there's 300 episodes, so I could be a couple hundred episodes off, for all I know. Well, either way, we're going along the routes. I don't even know how far. I'm going to look it up right now, but I'm going to see just how far the dub is at right now in Demon Slayers. All episodes. Right now, there is a total of 9 episodes. I don't know if it's dubbed fully just yet. I'm uncertain. So it's still coming out slowly. Which again, it's fine because I got Fairy Tail to hold me over. So yes, that process is going by slowly but surely. We're almost done with the shading, thankfully. We've been at this for almost 2 hours. Jesus. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a 2-parter. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go on ahead and do the background and all that stuff. No, the hand, you fool. The background and all that stuff off camera, but mostly just the outline and maybe even the coloring. We'll see. We'll see how much I can get done with today, and then tomorrow I'll try to get done with it and hopefully try to get a little bit done with an Adventurous Army. Because I'm not going to have enough time to get it done with this weekend unless somebody takes these stupid freaking weekends away from me. Somebody. Hopefully. Because I really need more time. I really need more time this week. This stupid freaking schedule change and this stupid Sunday and Saturday really fucked my schedule over. Just because your schedule's fucked doesn't mean you get to fuck my schedule, you asshats. I will deprive myself of sleep to get shit done with. Don't think I won't. I've done it so many times before it can't even be considered healthy. But I will do it. And there will be hell to pay if I friggin' collapse because I am exhausted. And I will say to everybody, this shit's more important to me than anything. The only happiness I have is my creation. And my cat, of course. My creations are what give me my purpose. And if you take away my purpose, then what the hell is the point of anything? Oh, wait, what am I doing? Hold on, let me redo that real quick. Where was it? Here? No, here? There it is. Okay, go back to here. I forgot I combined this one. There we go. Now let's go on ahead and make this part darker. Only that part. Man, I wish I can get to this sigil here. Alright, I'll just do this. Oh wait, the sigil is a part of that, so maybe highlight some of it as well. Alright, good, great, fantastic. Also, this apparently, yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't recall zooming out unevenly, but apparently I did. Yeah, if you don't zoom out at a specific level that I tell you to zoom out, it makes the image look weird. Man, I am so tired. I still gotta do the textures and some effects. Okay, that's the wrong padding. I thought I grabbed the right padding, but apparently I did not. And this guy's padding would be a pain in the ass to draw if he was one I had to draw several times over. Ganther's already a pain in the ass to draw full body drawings of. So if there's any way I can make it so I don't have to draw him too much in his full body, then I'll take it. The less I have to do in terms of drawing somebody with complex armor, the better. Which kind of sucks because that means they can't be shown fully. But it makes it easier on me mentally to have to draw the same character like several times over. But yeah. Whoops. You're supposed to be above or below that. I don't even know where the hell you are in all of this. Go beneath the pad, you fool. Why is it not below the pad? Who knows? I'll get the last bit of Mepsy as soon as I'm done with the shading. And then it's all textures from here. I am glad that I'm doing these series, though. Even though it's giving me stress trying to, plan out how the hell I'm going to do these, with how much effort that needs to be put into them, and how little time I have to get them done with. Honestly, it's pretty stressful, but I like doing this kind of stuff, though. I like creating, I like getting these kinds of stories made. Stuff that I wanted to do in game development, but it'll take me ages to do so. Until I can at the very least get to a point where I do not have to worry about working a regular old 9-to-5 job. Doing stuff like this, or even YouTube, if that's even possible. Alright, it's doing it again. The mouse is lagging. What's the problem? 58% memory. It's not the problem. It doesn't reside here. The problem resides elsewhere. I still don't understand. I don't know. Is OBS doing good? So far, it seems good. I mean, everything seems like it's moving just fine. Yeah. Hard to say. I'm back in admin mode, so I shouldn't really have to worry about it, but that stupid encoding overload just got me ticked. Like I said in the Game Crafters episode, if you want to see the broken video in the same vein of Sonic Frontiers episode 5, the link will be provided to you in the 16th episode of PlayDup. I'm hoping with this new software, or not new, I'm hoping with this different software or encoder, video encoder, which I think is like software 264 or something. I don't feel like looking it up right now, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm hoping with this, the CPU will not skyrocket a bunch. I don't know. I don't know what else I could do. The only other thing I could do is just pause the game and pause the video and monitor the task manager to see if the CPU eventually drops, and then once the CPU drops, I can continue recording again. It's stupid that I would have to do that, but I'm hoping that that change in the encoder will prevent that from occurring. I didn't get that in Game Crafter yet, but we'll see. Alright, is that everything here? I had some, like, things coming off of his, sides here. I think I deleted it here, right? Yeah, I did. But I got rid of them because I thought, it's too complex. I figured I'd just give you, like, a more slick design. And I did. Okay, good. Great. So now there's the texturing process. Texturing and also getting like bruises and scuffs and all that kind of stuff. And effects. Texturing shouldn't take that long. Wrong button. Yeah, it really shouldn't. Texturing is simplistic enough, really. All I gotta do is just run over it once or twice, depending on what kind of thing I'm texturing that needs to have more visible textures. Yeah, sure, it's annoying to have to like try to look through all of the things here. Like, I know I'm using an older version of Photoshop, but when I right-click with the brush or the burn tool, and I go to, Control right-click. When I control right-click and go through, all of this, it shows all of the folder names as well, which is not good. I don't know if the newer version's like that, but I think also the newer version of Photoshop has you having to pay several months to use it, at least from what I remember. Which, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. What the hell is wrong with this computer? I just don't understand. Can you see the mouse jittering about? It doesn't really matter when I'm doing textures because the textures just need to go back and forth and cover up an entire area. But it's still annoying that this is something that it's just doing all of a sudden for no reason whatsoever. It has been doing this. Been doing this for ages, and I thought that the mouse was the problem, but it's not. Unless the USB thingy is starting to wear away like the right one was, kind of. Kind of still is. I only really use it to put it in the keyboard, but so long as I don't hit it a bunch, it won't jitter, it will stay in its place, and it will do its thing. Still, though, the USB ports on this thing are probably wearing away. Although, it wouldn't make any sense for this one to wear... No, that's the wrong hand. It wouldn't make any sense for this one to wear away because this has stayed in here for ages. I have not taken this out in ages. Or if I have, it has been a very short amount of time and then it went right back in here. This thing here just feels like a permanent component to the computer, and I wouldn't really have it any other way. Well, actually, I think I did have to kind of change this out when I got new mouses. Do I even still have the old mouse? Would I have even kept it anywhere? I don't know why I would have kept the old mouse. I don't recall. Did I put it here? I don't remember. I guess it doesn't really matter. This is a new mouse, and it doesn't matter. Even got the buttons on the side. Yep. You're getting fur all over it. No mouse, just stare at me. Alright. Let me see how it is, cat. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I was supposed to tell you about all the series that I have going on right now, because it's a lot. I don't really have a whole lot of room for standalones anymore. As I've said with the fan art department, we got 3 episodes of My Luna Academia, 3 episodes of Luna v Titan, and 2 episodes of Pito's Fetish. And in the fantasy department, we got Elementals Reborn, 6 episodes of that. Sci-fi, we got Nova Guardians, currently 4, but will be increased to 6 once the next limitation period begins, which in this case is in 2024. So towards the end of the year, that's when that occurs. And now we got Heavenly Deadland. in Maka Brain Horror section, and Lustful Horrors. Heavenly Deadland at 4, Lustful Horrors at 3. And I guess technically we got Reginald's Macabre cases as well, which is in Macabre and Horror, as well as occasionally fan art, if I have any fan art related entities that I want to draw. Which I have at least 2 as far as I can think of. Then, of course, what we have in portraits. We just finished off Forgotten Fling, and a new series will begin at some point. Now, I don't know if I want to start in August, or October, I mean, and then have it end in March, because it's going to be a 3-episode miniseries. And then there's another one once Ebony and Ivory finishes off, both of which will be 3 episodes per limitation period, which means I'll only have 4 slots for portraits to utilize. All of this to say that I got several different series going on. Where's the fucking nail? Several different series going on. And not a whole lot of space for any more standalones outside of like a very small amount. Didn't think I got the eye here, did I? Or if I did, it's not noticeable. Okay, I guess that's good enough. I didn't get the hair, I believe. Or at least the back hair. So yeah, there's a lot. I don't know how many that is. 1, 2, 3 in fan art, 1 in fantasy, 1 in sci-fi, 2, technically 3, and the Demon Realm would be 9. Oh, and Chrome Wars, can't forget about that. There's Chrome Wars as well. Ongoing. There is, of course, Ebony and Ivory. That new series coming up. Another one's coming up soon, so technically it's still going to be 12. We got a lot. We have so many series. Only a handful are like 24. Adventurous Army, Elementals Reborn, Nova Guardians, and Heavenly Deadland. And some that don't really exactly have like okay. There's Plight of the Unlaughable Goth, which involved Moon getting tickled a whole bunch of times by a whole bunch of women. Friends and the friends' mothers, basically. And then that led into Ebony and Ivory with Moon and the Cafe group. Before that, that was Tickle-Obsessed Girlfriends with Erica and Beverly. Which, wait, hold on. No, I think that's... Is that cloth? I should bring up... There are some things with the characters' designs here. I should bring up Gwyneth and Friends drawing and see if this was made of cloth or... Yeah, that part was made of cloth, so I'll just focus on this. But yeah, then that came into Ebony and Ivory with Plight of the Unlaughable Goth going into both Ebony and Ivory and Forgotten Fling from the Past. Forgotten Fling from the Past will lead into a 6-episode series that's safe for work and not safe for work, but not in the same vein as, you know, most of the other stuff. It will show like a couple or at least a few naked people. All the bits are hidden, obviously, after like a couple of them almost ODing. I'm not going to get too much information on that just yet, because it is a pretty big spoilers to one particular character that I don't want to like say anything about yet. And there will be like an all-out battle with a corrupt nun in a drug cartel disguised as part of a church division or something. That one is fine to kind of say a bit, because, it's... Well, first of all, nobody's going to really remember this, the episode that I explained it. But also because it's not like the main thing. There's a difference. That's like a side story. But it does have an importance because it shows the corruptness of the church and everything in it. You're going to see soon, but not soon enough. Not until most likely October. Both that and the next series. The one that goes off of Ebony and Ivory, and in a sense also Plight of the Unlaughable Goth, because it does tie into that with the characters that gets added into this particular series, And when I say added, I mean characters that I've already made but have been seen before in both of the series except... Well, no. There is, yeah, in the Tickle Obsessed Girlfriend series, there is this one character that is shown in a flashback. So I guess, yeah, it depends. Although if you don't know any of the characters from that, well, that also depends. Because I did have an idea for like a second and a third season of that, with more of my characters getting added in as, time goes on. Also, I don't think I shaded that at all. Alright, place your bets on how many pieces I forgot the shade, color, and texture. Because there are so many. I won't know, but I'm sure you will. As you see me go through and shade something I forgot the shade, and texture something I forgot the texture. You'll have to open your eyes if I forget to exclaim it while I'm in the middle of talking about stuff. So anyways, yeah. There are still several in portraits. Right now, we kind of have like 12 currently that's going on. And technically now it's 11 because the other one hasn't started up just yet, but is going to start up soon. Nonetheless, we have so many miniseries, it's insane. We have so many characters, it's insane. I find it difficult to try to find a place to draw characters that I haven't made in ages. I should try to at least do some more with some of the characters. I want to do more with Anne, Holly, and May alongside Broseph and his family. Wait a minute, that's not what I want. I want the underwear, you fool. Voice crack underwear. But yeah, Broseph and his family. I want to draw more of his family out. Especially his cousins, nieces. The family tree is confusing me because I want to have May do stuff with, Broseph's cousins or nieces or whatever the hell they are on the family tree. Because technically they are not related by blood, and I have a hard time trying to figure out how the hell this would work. So I feel like wait, is this... Okay, hold on. Is this cloth or is this lines? It looks like lines. So it line then. Okay, so let me try to drop it down for you. Broseph and Mitch, their mother, same mother, different father. Father's side of Broseph, yeah, because, you got like the fathers from this side, and then boom, mother, and then father from the other side, boom, mother, and then Mitch and Broseph, right here. So from Mitch, you got Holly and then May. So not that side, no relation from that side, only from this side. So what is that in terms of law? We got Broseph's father with a bunch of brothers, I think, that it has children who then goes on to have more children. So Broseph's cousins from his father's side. So more cousin, cousins. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around that. Father and the brothers, those are his uncles. They have the cousins. They have children. And they're around May's age of 18 to 20, depends on, I'm pretty sure they might be like 19 to 20, so that we have May, who's 18, around older, not older, but slightly older women than her. So that means they are his niece? That doesn't make any sense. Are they still cousins? Broseph, niece, cousin? I don't know. See, this is what I mean. It's confusing. Also, what do I have on right now? I don't know what I lost track. Oh, I'm done with Gwyneth, I guess. Wait, or am I? I might be. I think I already did this, but I'm going to do it again because I can barely tell. So the family tree is a very confusing mess to try to figure out. All you need to know is that, technically speaking, May isn't related to anybody from Brosif's side of his family outside of Brosif and the grandmother who had her life turned around as soon as she met Brosif's father. Then she had Brosif with him, and then her life turned around. She's living a much happier life now. So yeah, no relation by blood, but is that like second removed cousin or something? I have no idea. There's no relation towards blood, so at that point, like, what you got right there, A curious lady entering adulthood, curious about, whether or not I think, if I remember correctly, May doesn't know if she's into girls yet, like, her mother, Holly, is. And then there's, Anne, who is strictly a lesbian. But, yeah, the point being, she's curious, and was also curious because the second removed cousins, or whatever the hell they are to her, showed interest in like that one first episode with May and Holly getting married. And this was around the time when Anne and Holly getting married. We're really going down south with this one. Ugh. No, Anne and Holly getting married with May at 16 at this point. Going into the present times now with her at 18. I do have a storyline in mind with her going and hanging out with her second removed cousins, or are they still just called cousins? And then antics ensue that involves the letter T. Sure you know, because I've said it multiple times here already. But yeah, simply put, curiosity bound the cat, and now she is enduring something that she's not yet endured. Because so far I've only really made one fetish drawing of May, and that basically involves her and her mother mockingly showing off their feet, comparing them, and being all like, mine's younger and most men would like that, and Holly's like more experience, something along. You have to like read the description because it's been so long since I've drawn that. That had to have been like album 20, right? Let me see. That had to have been album 20. I'm not bringing it up just yet. Was it album 20? It was around this era of this album. Was it 21? Where was it? It was definitely an old drawing though. 19, was it? It might have been 9. Ah, there it is. Album 19. That was such a long time ago. Old drawing where they don't even look as chibi and cutesy as they do now. Oh, chibi. I'm glad I can at least still get some badass and like deranged looking characters. Because, we have like Gwyneth and Domador looking cutesy, and Genthru looking young, same with Ariel looking cutesy. I'm still glad that I can get some of the more hardened and rugged characters drawn. But, yeah. My style has definitely improved from the strange mixture of styles that I had back then. I still obviously kept the realism in terms of the textures and all like the nature brush and stuff. We still have that, obviously, But that one's fine. It's just in the characters now, we actually have them looking somewhat more, you know, moe, or whatever the hell the word is. Which is fine. It's fine for certain characters. It works best for these particular types of characters. Now, unlike Nova Guardians, because we got, like, Yasashi, who, you know, she is Asian, so she has more narrow eyes and less, like, big, wide eyes. I mean, we got, like, these guys who aren't... Well, only one of them is Asian, that being Ariella. Regardless, doesn't really make much of a difference, because some people can have narrow eyes. But that's where her design is mostly inspired off of, so that's what I say. And I'll stick with that for now. But as I was saying, yeah, we got, like... Shikama, who has a more rugged look, and John has also a slightly more rugged look. Tina depends, because you know, we've seen Tina smile once, looking cutesy and all that, trying to impress Lloyd, the new commander added to the group, or at least the rookies group. And now we have, and also we have her like being, you know, grinning. Battle grin or whatever, that kind of stuff. Terrified once before because of that one double S rank creature. Honestly, it's just an expression. And because look at these two, they're not looking too cutesy right now, right? Yeah, you wouldn't look all cute and all that if you take a few punches to the face and gut. Oh, and this chick. As before, ooh, she looked deranged and ready for a fight. Which she is, but she's now angry because she's being rushed to abandon the fight. She's being forced to abandon the fight while the item is in their possession. They don't want to lose this chance, so they want to get their ass moving. Got that freaking thing right there. Holding this up. Fists, getting ready to want to punch your teammate in the fence, or in the fence. Yes. Oh, geez, that's a very interesting way to call somebody's dick something. Yes, punch them in the fence. What is their balls, the dirt or something? And the grass, their hair? Well, punch them in the fence. Sure, why not? I'm sticking with it. So, yeah. You probably don't look all cute and whatnot if you have taken a few blows to not just your ego, but your face as well. Or gut, like Damadora here. Yes, sirree. We got our first big baddie. But she isn't even the big baddie. She's like the secondary big baddie. I won't say who the first one is, but I'm pretty sure you can take a huge wild guess as to who is the main baddie. We haven't seen them yet. I'm just saying that right now. Or have we? Technically speaking, that could be one of two ways. It could mean that we have already seen them, and they've already been shown in the series. It could also mean both. Who knows? There might be somebody just sneakily hidden somewhere, and there's no way you would know. Take a wild guess. You might get it right, you might get it wrong, but I shall neither confirm nor deny it. Okay, well this kind of shares the same. I forgot this shares the same texture, so I can just do this. Or shame layer, I mean. Shame. Shame bond. Yeah, Sean. Sean McLaughlin. God. You gotta be so goddamn drunk to speak like that. Well, either who's in wits. Yes, I just combined two of my catchphrases. Either way, any who's in wits. I don't know. I guess I don't know what to talk about. I don't have any edits, so I can't just do the do without editing it in. I'm the one person that doesn't edit my shit. But it is fun, I don't need to edit, and I'm too goddamn high in the tone to keep that. I ain't gonna try, I'm gonna stick to this particular tone. I don't know why I'm singing this song now instead of humming. Not gonna rhyme, not gonna do any of that. Can't do any high-pitched tones because my throat is all smoked. Oh, that isn't smoke, it's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Steamed clams. It's obviously smoke, Seymour. I ran out of things to talk about, and I'm tired, and I just want to try to get through this a little bit quickly so I can have more time to get the background done with and hopefully finish the drawing up in less than like a couple of hours so I can immediately start on Adventurous Army to try to get that done with somewhat quickly. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to work on it at all during the weekend unless somebody takes all of Saturday, or at least 4 hours from the freaking 6 to 10 nonsense for both Saturday and Sunday. My time. I don't got a lot of it, I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm not a time wizard. I don't have the knowledge on how much time I possess. Besides, if I was a time wizard, I probably wouldn't be doing this job anyways. I'd be freaking up in my time tower, doing time things and making sure everybody's time is what it should be and not too little too late or too less too late. I don't know. Would being a time wizard be a million times better than dealing with this job? Or would it be 10 times more stressful? Am I just supposed to log the times of people? I don't know. It's a very difficult life to be a time wizard, apparently. Who knew? I sure didn't. I only just learned of the profession today. So yeah, time wizard, woo! Yeah, who wants to be a time wizard? All you gotta do is just keep track of the time of people's existence or whatnot. That would probably suck, because you know how many things have like an hourglass and how many things die every day? Maybe if it was like a separate division, like one division is like looking into the humans, side of things. And we got the others looking into stuff like the cats, the dogs, all the different types of insects, all the species that have like varying like life expectancies. Christ, anybody who's in the fly division is probably like, it's a constant nightmare day in, day out, trying to like manage how many flies have died and how many new ones have been brought into the world. I imagine the only way for more flies or anyone to reproduce is to have like, well, that wouldn't really work. Maybe if there's like, if somebody dies and the population of a certain species stays stagnant, then they have to find the person who died, flip the hourglass over, and then use some weird enchantment thingy to try to get, the new person who's coming into the world their fully created time thingy, and that kind of stuff. Although the real question is, does that mean that the person who gets that time thingy gets the same life expectancy as that one person? Does the fact that their life is like healthy and is like okay, so let's say if somebody is making poor decisions and are like, drinking, smoking, and doing all these things and whatnot, does their hourglass go by much quicker? Does it just drain faster? Is that how they is that how that works? is humanity supposed to be able to live to like 200 or something? But because of certain instances that occur, our hourglasses just go down way faster to a point where we're only able to live half of that. And for that matter, does the same thing work for most of the animals as well? I mean, yeah, I guess technically speaking, most wild cats' life expectancy would be like, what, 10, 20 years or so? Depends. I don't know what the oldest cat is. I'll look it up, actually. What is the oldest cat? 38 years and 3 days. Jesus, Cream Puff, 38 years and 3 days. Damn. So what, are you trying to tell me that cats could probably live up to like 40 or even 50? Or 100 as well? What if everything has a life expectancy of 100, technically, or 200, or 1,000 actually? What if it's actually 1,000? But because of the way the world works, because of how everything works, everything gets killed off by so many things that nothing can ever reach that outside of maybe a tortoise. Actually, hold on. What is the oldest turtle? Alright, let's see. You're not giving me a number. 190 and still living. Interesting. But what about a tortoise? You're not giving me a specific age either. You're just telling me hatched in 1832. He is the oldest known living land animal. 1832. What if that's the case? What if everything can live up to 1,000? But because of the way their life cycle works and the way certain things work, they are unable to live past that age. That would be interesting. The real question is, what the hell would we look like? What if it's a case of, the older we look, that means we were supposed to last up until like age 900. But because of the decisions we've made, we got up to this point. Or because of some other things. I don't know. Remember, a life expectancy from long ago was like 30s or 50s or something. I think. I don't remember. It's been... Actually, I don't even know. All I know was life expectancy was low, but I don't know the exact age, or I forgot the exact age. But anyways, that would be interesting. But because of the way the world works, we're only really able to live up to 70 to 100. Not many people can go past that age. And some that do it, let's just say existence probably isn't really fun anymore at that point, right? I don't know. It depends. It depends on how healthy their body is. It depends on if they can still live by themselves and not have to worry about it. Depends on if they still have to worry about stuff like joint pain and whatnot. I have no clue. All I know is I experience multiple different types of pain, so I'm already hitting that stage. Stupidly enough. Maybe they still have to... Maybe they've just grown immune to it and are able to essentially just resist some of the painful effects of aging. Why does aging have to be painful, though? Why does it need to be painful? Yeah, sure, you're slowly dying, but it doesn't have to be painful. Your nerve should be like, oh, yeah, this is the circle of life. There's nothing more we can do. We'll just remove the pain receptors for this particular joint. And we'll just be like, vroom. It just feels like a little pulse instead of just of pain. And, yeah, you're like, oh, that would have hurt me like several hundred years ago, but thanks to humans evolving to not need pain receptors once they reach a certain age, it just gives me a notification in my knee saying, I broke a joint. but it's not in pain, so that's good. Now that means I can't move, so that's kind of annoying. But also, there's no pain, so I don't know. Monkey's paw, I guess. You still experience pain when you're like a kid or young adult, but as you get older, the pain receptors are like, all right, I'll head out now. And then you finally just like, you don't live in pain anymore. No, not even like any diseases or viruses that render you, no, not even poison. It's just like a slow fade out, no pain. You're just like, oh, it looks like it's my time now. All right. Oh, well, no pain for me, I guess. Could you imagine? And at that point, old people would just become invincible because there's no pain stopping them. They're like, I lived a full life. I will go out of my way to beat the shit out of this young man, even though I have several bullet holes riddled in me. All I feel is the pulsating nonsense coming from my wounds. No pain. You're going down, young man. You are going down. As the old lady just keeps on charging this man who is trying desperately to strike the fear of God into her, but because she feels no pain, she fears no God and no man. And then he got his head whooped by a purse, and the amount of pain he felt is greater than an old woman will ever feel for the rest of her life, because she's probably going to die in like a few minutes, but it will not be painful. And you know what? She went out fighting, beating the shit out of this man, embarrassing him. And she's just laying on the floor, smiling like she just like won the lottery. Not won the lottery. Smiling like she won an argument, looking smug as hell. And now she's dead, and that guy's just sitting there, angry, what's the word again? Angry, unsatisfied. Felt like he felt like this biggest scumbag of the world, and now he's going to jail, and everybody in jail is going to beat him up and be like, ha ha, this old lady pwned you before she died. Oh man, you failed so bad. Now bend over. I'm gonna tear that pants off and go to town. And that's the end of that guy's story. Yep, why did it end in that? Who knows? But you know what? I guess you kind of deserve it for trying to kill an old lady. Alright, the gloves I forgot, but it's fine because I'm kind of just going through the paces. Yeah, that would be great if we didn't have to worry about pain when we grow older. Pain shouldn't even be a thing. Our body is growing older and losing a lot of, feelings and whatnot. So I don't see why the pain receptors can't just go kaput. And then you just live the rest of your life without any pain. Although, would that be a monkey's paw situation where you don't feel pain, but now you don't feel anything because your nerves are shot? I have no idea. That would suck, though. But also, I'm old at that point, so would I really want to go... maybe I'll just try to go for an android body. If I were to go for an android body, I know exactly the kind that I want to go through. Although I don't know if I'd want to go for the height, but I was thinking of something similar to Moon. Not exactly similar, but white hair, short, goth girl kind of. Similar to Moon, but not exactly. Because I'm not going to be able to replicate Moon's inability to laugh. Which is fine. I don't need to replicate it. Yeah, you guys are so small you don't even need your fingernails showing. But yeah. That's the kind of body I would go for. Remove the old man body and go into the young android lady body. With a considerable bust. I would say maybe bigger than these, but who knows. Size difference depends. I mean, if I'm an android, I don't really have to worry about back problems because I'm metal. Or whatever synthetic material we'll use to replicate skin and flesh. assuming we can get to that point, this era. Or, unless I unlock some kind of soul power during my passing, and then I have my soul create a new physical body with my memory still intact. Now that would be something else. I should probably light this up a bit since this is not being shown as much. Yeah, it would be something else, wouldn't it? People would be confused. I don't even know how the hell I would be able to showcase off that I am indeed who I say I am. But I feel like it's pretty simplistic. If I know things about the version of me before death, and I just come out as this ethereal being in a physical humanoid body to be able to, like, continue to create. I mean, if I didn't have to worry about eating, like if I made a physical body that essentially was, you know, it didn't need food, but I could still eat food, didn't need water, but I could still drink anything really, and I didn't need sleep, I mean, that would be a huge upgrade. And that's assuming I could somehow manage to have my soul create a new physical body. That, or instead I'd move over to, Phage Universe and I wouldn't have to worry about working. Oh, and that's the thing. I wouldn't need food, I wouldn't need drinks, I wouldn't need sleep. I am an immortal body. My soul has now become my actual full-on body. So, I mean, yeah, I guess technically speaking, what I could do is, like, get some kind of, like, pardon or something. So if there was any, like, war or some nonsense, I could probably use my soul to create, like, the demon form, but a more controlled form. And then just annihilate the opposition. Strike literal fear into them. They try to shoot the demon down, they can't get anywhere. And they just keep getting their asses handed to them on a bony flesh platter. Although that would be pretty morbid, and I don't know if that would be considered a war crime, but, I don't think they realize, or I don't think they have the idea to put down any person capable of transforming into a demonic monster is prosecuted to the fullest extent of war crimes or something. Unless that falls under some kind of biological warfare, but again, I have no idea. That's not something anybody's come across yet, and I don't think they will come across unless I somehow manage to recreate my body, or at least a new body, and have my soul reside in that, and basically just act like nothing happened. I didn't die, or at least my old body died, and I came back anew. And I can continue creating until the Earth explodes. And then at that point, well, if the Earth explodes, I'm probably going to try to get my soul to go over to Phage Universe then at that point. But surely now, if that... The cat's sleeping with her paw over her eyes. What's wrong, cat? You don't like the, what you call it? The light? Yeah, that's right. I took a picture of you. Is that blurry? No, that's fine. Look at this little sheesh. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. How are we doing so far? Okay, so far no overloads. Everything's still recording. Fine, that's good. Alright, I think I finished up most, if not all, of the texture process, so that's good, unless I missed something. I think I got everything. Hard to say, really. And I got these sigils here, glowing brightly on their cloaks, or robes, or whatnot. See, this guy probably has like a, what do you call it? A nice physique behind that. Alright, I'm going to have to go over to... I don't think I have it here yet. But I'm going to have to go over to their swatch, the characters. I'm going to do it from Gwyneth Tora. I'm going to have, like, bruises and whatnot. Bruises, scuffs, and all that. I got to remember how this needed to go. Been a while since I've done bruises. Now you can see why her face looks like this. She got punched. Bruise. Might have a few of those. Is this the bruise color that I want? Black eye. Maybe not that big. Hold on, let me back out. There we go. So now we got a bruise. And we're going to get some scuffs in here. I think the scuffs are probably going to just be this. So, well, hold on. Not here. On the head. Okay, yeah, you got to see it more. So, highlight, dirt, scuff, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like scratches or something. Maybe not fully just yet. And maybe some more bruises around the arms or so. Bruise. I don't know if that's also in the same category. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Bruise. Elbow bruise. These guys are not looking too good, but they are still ready and willing to fight as best as they can to try to protect this lady. It's not a good brawl. They're not winning this one. Yeah, sure, the cultists retreat, but it still isn't really considered a good win. Especially since they couldn't get the win off. They're still trying to get up and fight, but it's not going to work. Alright, so aside from that, I'll save this swatch on Gwyneth over here just so I have this used, and now I'm going to go and move over to Damodara. Hasrika family, Damodara. No, wrong one. I will also save the bruise here because I'm going to have a different thing here. He's going to have poison in him. There's a very certain thing that this lady did to Damodara for a very specific set of people who are interested in the particular thing that is going to occur here. But he's got well, hold on a second. I should probably still do this anyways because of the fact that it's probably not going to really work as well. And you got just poison here. A poison jab, if you will. Or so. Oh, don't worry, he'll be fine. He's the main character, of course he has to be fine. If he isn't fine, then it's just, not good. It's not one of those series where the main characters die. Of course it's not. Kidding me? It's campy and cheery. There is some, dangerous moments like this where they get their asses handed to them. But it's no more than that, really. Alright. I don't know if I'm using his poison again, but I will save it on to Damodara. Just in case. But it's unlikely that I'm going to have to use that again. Alright, now I gotta get the bruise up in here. Bruise. Bruised rib. Chest. So on top of the poison, he has a bruise. Poor Damodara. Or everybody else, really. Bruise. Another bruise. And maybe not that big. It's got to be very Even though you got a healer on the team, it's still got to be very painful, regardless. You got your face is punched, your body is punched, a lot of bits of your, well-being damaged and whatnot. Well, I could tell you one thing's for certain. Ariella is pissed. You've ruined that pretty face of hers, even though she can easily heal it up. Oof. Yeah, that does look very, very bad, doesn't it? You can tell you could see the anger in her eyes. She doesn't like this. Her face was harmed. Her assets are harmed. She is upsetty spaghetti. She is upsetty macaroni. And she got a big bruise here. Broken? Probably. But she can still heal it up, thankfully. Even if it is broken. It's always terrible to see your main characters get beat up this badly. But it's fine. You're freaking... Want to give him like a slightly broken nose. Oof. Ugh, Christ, that is... Broken nose, broken jaw, but don't worry. In this world, you can heal it up pretty quickly, but oof. I mean, this is really the only part of him that is visible that we can see damaged. Outside of, like, his armor that can get scuffed. Like, right there, right so. The cape, she got maybe a back shot or something. I'll probably forget to put something like that in. And then this poor girl. She's the one you don't like seeing it to because she's so... Whoops, that's too much bruise. She's so innocent and adorable, and she's just like half beaten up. Poor thing. So much so that she's... it would make sense that she would probably be bleeding a bit. But I don't know. It's already so sad as is seeing her like this. Alright, hold on. We're going for it. We're going for it. 110. Above that, and blood. Not a whole lot, though. Just a little bit from here. Alright, I need it to be smaller, and I think I need more flow. It would be like right here, right? Might be too much, so maybe do that. She can be healed up, though. Don't worry. But also worry because the poor... Because in this universe, the church here is actually good. Because there actually is... Hystrena was there. She did create this world. We know that for a fact. The depictions of her are there. But still, it's not the same in terms of, what do you call it? Yep. And notice how she's barely beaten up. And he's only barely beaten up because he got healed by one of the dark mages. So, yeah, aside from that, there's the fire and all that stuff. Wait, I gotta save this. I think I gotta save this swatch. Damodara, Azarika. Now I gotta go over to Gwyneth and get her wand all fired up. She's still getting ready to try to kick this lady's ass. She's still trying. She's not giving up yet. Fire. Alright, that's too big. I just see a blink of light somewhere. Oh, there's a light on this thing. Does it blink red? Am I running out of battery? I have no clue. I hope I'm not. I mean, I use the damn mouse every single freaking day. So it would make sense that I would go through batteries pretty quickly. Wonder how long it lasts. She's trying to stay strong for her sake. For the priestess's sake. Barely. And as much as you think that these guys are joining in, he wants to get this thing underway. Whatever importance they have here, he wants to get it underway. To a point where these fools can wait, he would say. Or these small times can wait. I'm gonna call this Dark Mace. I don't have their names just yet. That's the wrong one. There we go. Alright, now load it. I tried to change it in the search bar instead of the actual thing. I don't think... Oh, maybe it's wand 6. No clue. I don't remember a part on the wand that had that. Maybe I'll just change it so there's like a nice dark purple aura on it. Maybe we'll see. I'll put it above the arm. Maybe that's too dark, but I could still use that. Yeah, I can have this one be like overlay or something. Getting ready to try to fight them, but is being pulled back because they gotta get their ass back. Wait, I actually should put this one behind the wand. And then we have some of the dark bits here coming off of the wand. The Dark Mage Wand. Getting ready to try to utilize what power it possesses to try to beat anybody who stands in the user's way. She will be a challenge, but I believe our heroes can deal with her. Maybe not today, but someday. And now there's going to be aura particles. I will save these so I have the aura that I need for her wand and maybe even more. Maybe even more. I'll just go over to here real quick, then after that I think we might be done. Imbecile on maybe. Let's look at the time. Yeah, it's definitely going to take me a while to get the background done with, but I will try to do it. Part of me was hoping I can get the thing done with today, but that was wishful thinking. I don't know about that. I will make it spread out instead. Particles surrounding the wand, but maybe not too much around here. Just focus more so on this. And we'll do the same thing, but with the bubbles. So other dynamics still, the scatter is still the same, that's fine. Bring this down to 10. And now you've got bubbles around the place. Overlay, maybe. Okay, how about vivid light, maybe? I don't know. What if I copied it and then do an overlay? I'm not sure about that one. I'll just leave it as such and maybe highlight some of the particles. That one is saved, right? Well, let me just check. It is saved. Good. Alright, now I'm going to go over to Gwyneth again real quick. Go grab this red and yellow, I think, or is it orange? And we're going to make the embers, and that will probably be it for the time being. For this part, at least. We've been at this for almost 3 hours. So I'd say about now would be a good time to wrap it up. So all I gotta do now is just go on ahead and get the embers from her fire placed here. So still got embers. I'll get rid of some from her legs. I didn't want to place a note, you fool. I wanted to press B. Yeah. Alright, good, great. I might add more later, but we'll see. I'm unsure just yet. But the only thing left now is the background, and I have some time to try to get it done with, hopefully. Man, am I tired. Alright, now's a good time to end this. For the time being, the shading and texturing is finished, as well as some of the brush effects for the characters. So, there we go, folks. And everything seems to be running just fine in OBS. Running in admin mode. Also, it's Photoshop, so it's not going to have any issues, I don't think. Anyways, that's all for today, folks. Without further ado, thank you all for watching today's episode of Art Time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out their playlist, and of course, previous episode of Art Time right over here, and the next part of today's episode right over here. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next part. Later.